HMS Bobcats, Mr. Flato here. Welcome back to another great week at the Helena Middle School. I hope you all had a great weekend and we're ready to rock and roll this week. Today's Bob lesson, part 2 of a 2-part series, friendships, middle school friendships on a continuum. This Bob lesson is something that I have been compiling and has been on my mind for a while. This one's very specific to 7th and 8th graders. 12th year of being a middle school counselor, working with middle school kids. A lot of this is training, research, education, and a lot of experiences that I have had over those years where I start to see a pattern and thought that it would be really productive, hopefully, to share some of those patterns with you to better educate you on what friendships look like at this age, that you're not the only one going through this, and hopefully give you some advice or some direction. As you move into high school, for you 8th graders, same thing starts to happen, crystallize, it just continues as well. And I will say, I think as you get older, the older you get, the easier it is to identify the right friendships for you and to have healthier, more productive friendships. So I hope you guys enjoy this Bob lesson. I hope you guys got something out of this. I think you'll get a lot more out of the second part of it than we did on the first part. Hope you guys all have a great week. All right, we pick back up, perfect spot for 7th and 8th grade with situations. After we're starting to discover who we are, what color of Skittle we are, start to think about our values and interests. This is something I see a lot with middle school kids coming in, talking about their friendships. It's always situations that happen that upset students. A lot of times they feel like their friends fall short of the expectations they may have for their friends. And again, I encourage students to look at this through a very specific lens that can help guide them in figuring out, is this the right friendships or friendship circle for me, etc. Let me explain. The reason that I like this is because situations are going to happen in life. We are all way too different of human beings to always be on the same page. And the thing that I like about situations is situations reveal a lot. You know, there's kind of a quote out there, talk is cheap, or talk is cheap, walk the walk, etc. You really find out what people are about by not so much what they say a lot of times, but how they act and the things they do. Situations inevitably occur where people's loyalties, commitments, alliances, character, integrity, etc., all those things are put on full display. Sometimes you learn more from people's actions than their words. So much of my work, especially with 7th and 8th grade students, evolves around a situation that occurred where one party has a different viewpoint or action that deviated from expectations. One of my favorite quotes is, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Because people can lie, people can be dishonest, people can be deceitful with the words they say, the things they say. But one of the things they can't be dishonest and deceitful with is their actions, because at the end of the day, their actions, or the truth a lot of times, is where the rubber meets the road. The truth a lot of times is what people do with their actions. So you can learn a lot about people's actions. Want to talk about some common situations that I see. And again, if you allow these common situations that happen, if you have these situations that happen, if you sit back and kind of process and think about things, I think you can learn a lot about whether people are true friend or not, or whether that's a friendship that is still working or not. So a few examples, and these are all negative, because that's a little bit more of the world that I deal in, and there are some positive ones out there as well. But a friend speaks negatively about you behind your back, shows lack of loyalty. Maybe some of the thought process with that is, maybe that wasn't such a loyal friend at all. And although it hurts and it stings and we can be really upset, maybe that friend is showing you that they're not such a great friend after all. Maybe conversely, the opposite of that is you find out that friends have your back, and you find out that friends don't speak negatively about you. Maybe that is a sign that is a great friendship. Another example, a friend chooses maybe a romantic relationship over your friendship, or maybe even somebody that they knew that you liked at one point. Maybe some of the takeaway from that is it shows where your friend's priorities really are. If they're going to value a romantic relationship over your friendship, that may tell you where their priorities are. I always tell students never choose romantic things over your friends. Boys, girls, people, they're going to come and go, but your friends, true friends, are always going to be there and have your back. Conversely, maybe another example is somebody likes one of your friends and your friend says, I can't do it. It's not worth ruining my friendship with so and so over, and they show loyalty towards it. Another example, they leave you out of their plans. The dreaded, you see somebody on their Snapchat story, or you hear about them hanging out without you behind your back, and that one can really sting a lot. That could show how close of a friend your friend views you as. Maybe you view them as a really close inner circle friend, and maybe you find out that maybe they're not so tight after all, and they don't value you or feel the same way about you. Conversely, maybe somebody never leaves you out of their plans, and that's how you find out that the proof is in the pudding, that is a great friendship. Maybe one more is make decisions that put you in a bad situation, knowing your goals and test your value system. This may show how much they value your well-being and how much they care about you. True friendship is based in looking out for one another and holding each other accountable. I'm doing another Bob lesson on that. And maybe just not prioritizing with you with your time. So examples of how situations can help define friendships if you're looking at it through the right lens. All right, we're going to move on a little bit. I love this one. This one's been a huge part of my work lately. Court of public opinion. All right, moving on to court of public opinion. I love this one. This is one I became a huge proponent of over the years when talking with students. What is the court of public opinion? The court of public opinion is what other people think about you, people that are bystanders, that are onlookers. And I just want to move to the bottom really quick. The court of public opinion is always judging you, right? That's our peers. Those are the people that we're consistently around and spend time around. They may not be your friends, but they're onlookers. And your reputation is constantly fluid. Every year that I have a new group of students come into HMS, I have to re-earn my reputation all over again. And it's something that is very real in life, something I take very seriously. But with a lot of you have person A, person B, maybe they are friends, maybe they aren't. How you conduct yourself, how you act towards other people. You may not care what that other person thinks, but the court of a public opinion and what your peers are thinking about you, I think it suits something that is very important, and the reputation that you earn. I have students all the time that get really frustrated that so-and-so is spreading rumors, is being mean, is not treating somebody fairly. And I always say the same thing. Look, they cannot keep acting and treating people like that for the long term. The court of public opinion, your peers, their peers, people that are around, they're eventually going to see that. And they're going to either be interested in being friends with somebody because they act that way or not. And I always encourage students, be a high character person, carry yourself in a high character way, because there's other people that are watching. And if you carry yourself in a high character way and you prove to the court of public opinion that you're a kind, empathetic, respectful person, those right friends you're going to connect with eventually. And it might not be the friends that you're currently friends with, but if you handle yourself the right way and you stay true to who you are, the values that you have, the character that you want to be, there are people out there that notice, and eventually you're probably going to make your way, and they're going to make their way, into your life, because they see your character, they see your values, they see who you are. All right, community association. This one, I think, as students move into high school, is extremely, extremely important, and it has a major factor on your friendships as well. Community association, be about something. I think as human beings, we're all tribal beings, meaning we need one another for survival. I talk about it all the time. That's why the pandemic was so hard. We as human beings need one another. We're hardwired at our very core to rely on one another for our needs getting met and for our overall just happiness and mental, social well-being. Most of us want to have a sense of belonging in a group bigger than ourselves. And I think we all need to have a membership in something bigger than ours. I think that's what helps us be the best versions of ourselves. Most of us find this in a healthy way through sports, through acting, through music, through drama, through dance, through a lot of different things. And I'll get to an example here on the next slide. When you start spending more of your time with certain groups of people, you're not only connecting over shared goals, hardships, and I mean that like in sports, the grind of getting in shape, the grind of competing. That's my favorite thing about sports, the challenges and the interests. You're connecting with these people all in the same arena or in the same environment. But those things also strengthen your attachment and your bonds with them. That's what's so powerful about being part of a community association, being part of a sports team, or in the same play, or on the same in the same band, producing the same piece of music. It's going to strengthen your bonds with people, and that a lot of times strengthens friendships. And that's where a lot of times moving forward, where you will find your true friends, because remember, true friendship is based in interest and values. Community association oftentimes means being held to a higher standard of rules and expectations for all the traps that there are out there for 14, 15, 16-year-old kids. I think this might be one of the most important ones, is that if you make a poor choice and you're a part of a community, you're a part of a team, you're part of a group of people, it not only negatively affects you, but it affects them. And that peer pressure can end up being a very positive thing to make the right decisions. This is a huge reason why one of the universals at Helena High is be involved. Be involved in something that is bigger than yourself, that is community association. Some examples of this is being on a sports team. Being a part of a club or an activity, being part of a music group, whether that's choir, orchestra, jazz band, band in general, just being a part of something. Maybe earning a role in a Grand Street performance where you're working with other people. Or how about this one? How about working a part-time job where you go and you're working a job and you have to connect and be on a team with other people, so that you can provide whatever good or service it is to customers. I just think being a part of community association is so important for especially like 8th graders moving into high school. And based on what community association you have can really dictate who your friends are. I have noticed over the years that students that don't have some sort of community, in some sort of community and doing something positive, they're going to find that community one way or the other. And if it's not in something positive, so many times, unfortunately, it's finding that community doing something negative, and that those are the beginning steps of kind of a decline. All right, let's give away some jelly beans, shall we? This week's winners: Xander Zipfel, Kaylin Weedle, Owen Mitchell, Jesse Stovall, and Jessica Lemon. What is the only bird that can swim but cannot fly? Penguins. You guys were all over that one. Had lots of answers. Remember, I just draw the first 5 correct answers every week. All right, this week's jelly bean question of the week. I'm the rare case when today comes before yesterday. What, where am I? If you think you know the answer, get your answer turned into the Bob box by the end of the week. Make sure your first and last name on it. Make sure it's legible. All right, Bobcats, let's make it a great week at D. Helena Middle School.